gave this afternoon, after the speech of Minister Donner, you gave a short reaction. It was something like, "You're so polite, you Dutch guys." Or, yeah.
Well, I was just basically saying that, from what I understood, of course this was interpreted for me.
Yeah.
From what I understood, is basically what he was saying was that freedom of information is too expensive. So let's have less of it. And let's not be critical of each other. Government or the state and the journalists should all be friends. And that's so dead wrong. And I think also, like after I became a lawmaker, of course all the laws are written in the ministry, most of them, I have lost very much all respect for lawmaking, because I have recognized that those that are writing the laws, let's say the new banking laws, are maybe people from the banks, and how can I respect that when it is obviously written for the industry, not for the people?
Yeah.
And this whole marriage between the corporate and the state has to stop. And I felt that he was actually saying the opposite.
Should we take Iceland as an example for that, or?
We've had a lot of national referendums because of ISAFE and other things. We're also rewriting our constitution, which I think actually every nation should do once in a while. So I'm hoping that we get some of the freedom of information legislation into our constitution.
You have like a special recommendation for our generation?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Absolutely. My basic message is that if you want to live in the society you dream of, you're going to have to co-create that dream. You're going to have to participate in your society. You cannot expect others to make your dream come true.
No.
You cannot just go and, even if you bother to go vote, you can't. That's not enough participation. So we have to both. The young generation has to ask for the tools to be able to participate. We have to have more open government through websites. It's easy to be more part of monitoring legislation, and particularly when it is passing through parliaments. But just be involved.
So in that light, what was your reaction to the public? Because Donner said there, he told his story like, yeah, I'm going to limit all the laws for and all those journalists weren't like, I didn't see anybody getting angry.
No, they were just sort of, a handful did not clap for the minister for telling them that they were having too much freedom.
Were you disappointed by that?
Yes, I was. Because it's a really important day. This is about press freedom, and you have the minister that has to do with these issues in your country telling you that freedom of information is too expensive, is too bothersome, and people just sit there and, I just didn't want to do it because of the diplomatic relations now with Holland, since I am now here, as a parliamentarian as well from my country, but I really felt like saying something, interrupting him, because I was just so outraged on behalf of the people in Holland.
To make Iceland the first internet-free safe haven, and it will probably attract, when the project finishes, it will probably attract a lot of investors, software developers. So it will probably attract a lot of money to Iceland. I can imagine there are some, for instance, European countries who aren't exactly glad with the plans coming from Iceland. Is there any, you as a parliamentarian, is there any international pressure, or?
I haven't seen it yet, and I think it's because they probably are not aware of what it means. But it also means, I for one, being somebody that profoundly understands that we're running out of planet, and I don't want Iceland to be sort of an industrial wasteland of aluminum factories. I think it would be great if we would use our green energy for data centers, because we have a good climate for it. It's sort of a short span climate. It never gets very cold, never gets very hot. So maybe once the environment is such, legal environment, that the companies take a leap towards, then we might start to get some opposition. But so far, I've actually only experienced positive feedback, including from the EU Parliament and from the Council of Europe. And I think we need to step up and upgrade our legislation when it comes to freedom of information globally. There's nothing that makes Icelanders more determined to stick by something than if some foreign power says you can't do this. You know, so I'm just looking forward to actually we'll probably make things move quicker in Iceland if somebody starts to tell us that we can't do it.
You will manage to realize those plans eventually.
Yes, I am determined to make it happen. We'll see. I mean, so far, I mean, I've just spoken to the minister that's in charge of the project, and I'll be meeting her shortly. I speak regularly with the people who are writing the laws and preparing them. So, and there is enthusiasm to do this. So, if this was just yet another proposal that the Parliament would pass, and actually it's important to note this. And to my great surprise, I never expected the entire Parliament to say yes.
And you also really need investors, right, at the moment?
Well, yeah, we do. We're in such an incredible mess. I mean, and that's another thing that's why we really need this, is that because we didn't have any proper whistleblowing legislation or encouragement, we didn't have strong enough source protection, and we don't have a proper Freedom of Information Act. That's one of the reasons this managed to become such a monster. I mean, 2005 the banks are privatized. 2007 they are starting to wobble. In 2008 they are 10 or 12 or 20%, I don't remember the numbers, they're changing all the time, larger than our entire GDP. So if we would have allowed a run on the country, we would have been bankrupt 10 times. But that's how crazy things can go now if we don't have proper transparency and proper Freedom of Information Act. It is so important.